The Scholastic Ball Report is sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and brought to you by Central Bank, Crown Trophy, Farmers Bank and Capital Trust, Kentucky Utilities, Panel Swim Shop, P-Rats, PrepSpin.com, Rafferty's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.
And welcome back into the Scholastic Ball Report as we look at high school sports for the next 30 minutes. Gary Ball with Doug Flynn. And Doug, it's always great to be with you, and it's always great to talk high school sports. That's why we do this show.
That's exactly why we do it. And we've got some interesting folks on today. Not only are they interesting, great athletes, and we've got Danville on today. Boy, did they have a dandy with LCA.
Yeah, that was a great game. Clay Clevenger just does a terrific job over there. They were 12-2 last year. They lost to Newport Catholic in the regional final. So they kind of want to get back to that position.
Hey, you know what I found out, too? Clay Clevenger, his daddy played basketball at the University of Kentucky. Remember that name?
I do.
Oh, I do too. Because I watched him, he was a little guard, and I went, that's what I want to be when I get there.
And the Ads have a great football team.
Yes, they do.
They'll make some noise in the AA playoffs. We'll talk to Coach about it. He's brought 3 of his outstanding players, including that quarterback that I like. Listen to this, 2,200 yards already, 28 touchdown passes for Mr. Dampier.
Got to have somebody that can catch it, too.
Our feature's real interesting. You know, we try to bring some interesting features, Mr. Flynn. This one's very good.
It is. On Logan Mann, Anderson County's a long snapper. Had gone through some issues, Gary, but I tell you, bouncing back, and it's a great story. I think everybody's going to really want to watch this.
I think you're going to like. Our scholar athletes are from Lexington Catholic. We know the Blue Ribbon School that is over on Clays Mill. Outstanding academics over there. These 3 young men are just flat getting it done in the classroom.
Well, they are. I don't know if we can get them up here on the stage, though, because they're over there watching the ball game while we're taping the show.
The
what
Cubbies,
do you think?
Fly the W, baby.
Watching those Cubbies, man.
That's right. And also, we got another Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week as we head down to Nicholasville. Don Gabbard and the staff down there. And Dr. Stephen Duncan is in from UK Sports Medicine. He makes his debut on the show, just like Rachel last week. I love it when new people come on.
I don't think he's going to be too nervous. You know what he's going to talk about?
What's that?
He's going to talk about hips.
Right.
And I happen to have 2 new ones. Maybe you can help me out. How am I supposed to do this?
That's right. You'll figure it out. He'll help you figure it out. And our 3 interns, Rebecca, Joe, and Brantley, will talk to those scholar athletes from Lexington Catholic. Well, let's get to the best highlights in the state of Kentucky, bar anybody. These are the last regular season games of high school football playoffs start next week. These highlights brought to you by P-Rats. Bruce P-Rat and the staff think outside the black box.
After starting out the season 1-5, the Knights swept their districts for the title. Meanwhile, Southwestern coach Larry French solidified his place in Kentucky high school history, picking up his 300th win last week. It's our game of the week. Here's Ryan Lemond.
Best finish of the year in this one. We go straight to the 4th quarter, and with Southwestern leading 16-14, Lexington Catholic freshman quarterback Bo Allen hits Ben Buckinanny, who goes 14 yards. That put the Knights up 20-16 in the 4th. Then Southwestern, their last play of the game, 4th and goal from the 3, 46 seconds on the clock, and Trevor Brock scores to put Southwestern up 22-20 with 41 seconds left. That was just enough time for Knights to move the ball down the field, and then Connor Fry hits a 23-yard field goal as time expires. Knights win it 23-22.
And welcome back into the Scholastic Ball Report. I want to thank Bob Roberts Insurance. They're out in Richmond, Kentucky on Main Street. They've been in business 40 years. They insure this great state of Kentucky, most of this great state. Speaking of a great town, Danville, Kentucky, Coach. You're from there. You played there. What a beautiful town. Every time I drive over there, I say, man, why don't I live here? It's such a beautiful town. It really is.
It is. It's a great place to live and a great place to raise a family.
Coach, last year you got all the way to the semi-state. You played Newport Central Catholic. You had 2 touchdowns called back. You only lost by 1. So how did that tough loss get you guys ready for the great season you're having in 16?
Well, I think it's just building on it. You know, we lost a lot of seniors from last year's team, and so and we were only returning these 3 guys that are with me tonight. But I feel like our young guys got a lot of experience last year, and hopefully we can continue to improve. Didn't quite get the outcome that we wanted this week, but we hoping to keep on working hard and hopefully to get to where we want to be and be back in that regional championship semi-state talk.
Well, you got such a great reputation and so much success at Danville. Tell us just a little bit about these 3 athletes you brought tonight.
Well, they're my 3 seniors. I came back to Danville 4 years ago. These 3 guys have been with me my first 4 years back. And so that first year was a little bit of a struggle at times. We were laughing at some stories on the way up here, but they kind of stuck through it. And I think come and have helped me, get the program that I want to in place and help hopefully drive our program forward to where we're back in that state title contention, each and every year.
Zach Dampier, the quarterback, you have 28 touchdown passes already, very few interceptions, only 3 or 4. So with that kind of success, and you still got a regular season game to play in the playoffs, why do you think you're having such great success this year?
I think it's just putting in the extra work, getting in film, seeing what they're doing, working with the guys right here, making sure we're on the same page. And whenever you have athletes like them that can catch it, they make your job a lot easier.
And you notice he's got Ellison sitting right next to him, too.
Did you see that highlight of it?
He's only averaging about 20 yards a catch and everything. When did you all know you had some pretty good chemistry?
We've grown up together since elementary school, so that's never really been a problem. It's just getting the extra work, knowing that we can always call each other up if we want to work together.
Ellison, do you feel like that you guys have that telepathy going out there after all the years you've played together?
Oh, yes,
Tell
sir.
us about that.
I definitely do. Whether it's being throwing partners in baseball and t-ball or playing at playgrounds and stuff at elementary school, being on the same teams, we've always played together, so I think it really helps.
Jeremiah, great receiving core there. I was real impressed, 4 to 5. You're part of that. You're a slot man. When you look at the team, what do you feel like your role is on the team with all these great receivers?
Well, I just feel like that my role on the team is to make everyone better at practice and, just to keep their heads up when things are down, because I like to see us win, and I just like to keep them up whenever, when bad play goes wrong, and let's say L's down about it, I'm like, come on, L.
Right. Right.
Because these are my best friends,
Right.
and they're going to listen to me, what I mean?
You're the positive guy. He's the positive guy.
Can you believe you all are seniors now? Did it get here pretty fast?
Oh, it got here extremely fast.
Well, what's amazing, you guys had a great year last year. You got a game that you played Frankfort, and then you got Allen County again, Allen County Central.
Yeah.
Your thoughts going into that and the rest of this year?
I think, it's just about getting better each and every week. I think, the last thing that we want to do going into week 10 is to think that we've peaked or that we can't get better. And, to continually improve. And, hopefully we get this last regular season. And our goal is to play in 5 more games after that. Mm-hmm. And so in order to do so, we got to continue to improve, continue to see what can we get better at, and continue to execute.
Coach Clevenger, you do a great job at Danville, guys. Good luck. Hope to see you in Bowling Green. That's going to be fantastic. Thank you, Coach.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
That's the ads of Danville, one of the top teams in AA football. Now we're going to this great feature on a young man from Anderson County that's overcome a lot of obstacles.
Many people in life are naturally born with certain skills. Others are acquired. So it is with Anderson County's Logan Mann. He is a long snapper for the Bearcats, and while it may not look or sound like the most attractive position on the football field, it is highly important.
You got to work on it every day, just continually get better. And, it's an art, so you got to work on the mechanics and the little things to get better.
Logan oftentimes practices by himself, and when on the field, rarely gets hit. He is seldom noticed from the stands during a game, but his area of expertise is amazing. He has gone around the country learning this craft at numerous camps.
I take pride at it, go to camps, get better, and every day I'll be working at it.
But how Logan Mann learned this art is amazing and quite dramatic. It began when he was in 3rd grade.
He had played baseball and basketball up until 3rd grade and never had an issue. But when he put on the football helmet, he started complaining of headaches on the crown of his head.
Fast forward 4 years to when Logan was in the 7th grade, and that's when the Mann family's life turned upside down.
In practice one day, it was about 100 on the field, and he went down in practice. We thought he'd had a heat stroke. At that point, the neurologist wanted to do an MRI. They hadn't done one prior to that.
The MRI was followed by an angiogram, which discovered a rare disease called moya moya.
I didn't have enough blood flow on the right side of my head, so they had to go in and graft a vein into my main vein, and it grows like tree roots. So it really helped the blood flow.
Remember when Logan was thought to have that heat stroke? He actually had a stroke. In fact, Logan had at least 2 strokes and possibly a third. Surgery was performed at Boston Children's Hospital, where 4 titanium plates and 16 screws were inserted. After 1 year away from sports, Logan was given a clean bill of health and allowed to play once again. And he wanted to play football.
It's emotional for me, but still I get to play the game I love, and that's all that matters.
Welcome back to the Scholastic Ball Report. We're here with your scholar athletes from Lexington Catholic. Austin, tell us a little bit about your injury and how are you doing your rehab and just how's that going for you? Talk to us a little bit about that.
It was definitely a devastating time in my life, being a senior, going down the first game. I was obviously looking forward and worked hard in the off season to have a successful season. I didn't really let it bother me too much. Like, I didn't get down on like myself or put it on myself. I had a strong support group of friends and family there, always helping me and getting me through it.
How has it impacted your work in the classroom?
It hasn't really. I have a lot of teachers who are very understanding, and I just emailed them, and they sent me worksheets and stuff that we did in class, and I haven't really gotten behind on anything.
It's good.
And Bo, you've got a 3.6 and is a part of the impressive receivers corps. Just talk about the receivers a little bit at Catholic.
Yeah, so definitely we have a big emphasis on blocking for our running backs, but we definitely get a lot of help with our offensive line. They do a great job, so it makes our job really easy, and our running back, Damian Jones, does a great job just reading our block, so it makes us look a lot better. But definitely we try to play very physical every game and just go after the other team. So yeah, it's just a big emphasis in practice every week, just blocking, and everything else just falls into place.
And Kyle, you have a 3.8 GPA, but you also keep up with a rigorous practice schedule. But how did your injury last year help you appreciate what you have this year?
My injury last year, I tore my labrum in my shoulder, so I couldn't play at all last year. And it really helped me appreciate going out and practicing every day and doing basically the everyday things that we do. So it's great to be on the field with my best friends.
Austin, what are you looking to pursue after graduation?
After graduation, I intend to become an engineer. It's always been a dream of mine. And then I would like to go into the medical field and become an anesthesiologist with that. I want to join the Navy, so it helps pay for a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
And Bo, what are your plans down the road? Like, where are you planning on going? Are you going to further your athletics?
I think that the athletics might be over after high school for me, but I do plan on going to UK, Alabama, or Furman, and I'll definitely be studying business and eventually somewhere in the machinery moving industry.
And Kyle, how has football shaped your future?
Well, for sure, it teaches you time management. And that's a really good skill to have in life. Be able to go to practice 2 or 3 hours a day and then go home and do your homework. It keeps you on a good schedule, and it helps you really just to plan your day out.
We've got some plaques courtesy of Crown Trophy. And now let's toss it back to Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week.
It's time now for the Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week. Franklin County's Dalton Landrum finds Kyle Stivers, who laterals to Denzel Vance. How about the old hook and ladder play? This one will pick up a gain of 48, worth another look. A big trick play for a big gain, however, it was all Christian Academy of Louisville over Franklin County, 44-7. But that is your Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week.
Welcome back into UK Sports Medicine. They've been a staple on this show for 14 years. Rob Ullery. And Rob, I tell you what, you do a great job there. And we'll introduce our brand new guest to the show tonight.
This is Dr. Stephen Duncan, who is volunteered to come out tonight and speak to us. I was going to talk about some hip injuries in athletics.
Right.
So, Dr. Duncan, what kind of hip injuries are we seeing in athletics today?
So it kind of depends upon the sport. We'll see hamstring issues for people. We'll also see sometimes overuse injuries. Like the Reds catcher, he had the issue with his groin where he ended up needing surgery.
Devin Mesoraco.
Yeah.
Say that 10 times.
Yeah.
Well, what can be done to prevent that? I mean, if you could tell an athlete, how can you prevent it? What can be done to prevent it?
So a lot of it is kind of, and this is the hard part, the off-season part, is making sure that you do a lot of the kind of core strengthening to make sure that your muscles are otherwise ready for playing, and then also giving your body plenty of time to recover. You know, a lot of it's overuse, and so trying to maybe in the summer don't play your sport 12 months during the year. Take a little bit of time off, let your body recover, and hopefully that can prevent some of the overuse.
That's a hard thing to do, though, because you're telling someone, we want us to keep you in shape, we want you to keep working on your craft, but you got to stay off your legs and that pounding. Having had 2 hip surgeries, I know that pounding can eventually take a toll, but what are we doing to prevent some of those, like for some of the kids that say, hey, you know, I got a little twinge here, should they get it checked out?
So generally, anything that lasts more than about 4 to 6 weeks, it's probably a good idea to at least see your trainer, see a physical therapist, and then oftentimes they'll be able to say, you know what, you should probably go see a specialist.
Right. And, you know, it's good information there. And what would you say to, you know, athletes? You know, Bo Jackson, as I recall, I don't know why he came to, but I think his career was ended on a hip injury. So even the great athletes.
Right, and there's a lot of athletes out there now that have had hip injuries that you may not know about. I mean, Devin Mesoraco, Dr. Duncan and I were talking earlier about some different athletes that he brought up with some different hip injuries.
As long as none of these great Cubs players have any hip injuries, I'm okay with it.
You know what the good thing is, though, is that you all can figure this stuff out now. In the old days, they just said, go get them. Now you got people that can check them out.
Right. Well, and the good news is with all this, too, is people can get back to playing.
Yeah.
You know, A-Rod, he had both of his hips done, and so generally over 90% of these people get back to playing.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate you coming. That's great stuff. We'll put up let's get the website up there, the phone number. They're simply the best. If you want to stay in the game, UK Sports Medicine and orthopedic surgery will keep you in the game. Thank you, Dr. Duncan.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll go to these final highlights. Can you believe it? It's the final highlights of the regular season of football, brought to you by PrepSpin. Don't forget to catch all the playoffs beginning next Friday on PrepSpin.com.
Henry Clay trying to make it 2 straight over Campbell County, and the Camels are punting. I'd like to see that happen in real life. Zach Brezowitz, catches that short kick. He caught it, and he was already past the defense. Great field position for the Devils. Greg Couch finding DeMarcus Tyler for the score. And the Blue Devils take care of Campbell County 21-14.
Danville and Frankfort continuing a rivalry that dates back 14 years. Frankfort down 14-0 in the first, but bringing the wood. Danville, Zach Dampier drops, and Will Bowen with the pile driver and the sack. Style points on that one. Bowen getting it done on the offense, too. This guy's a load. The carry good for a gain of 18 here, but Dampier gets the last laugh to swing past the DeMarie Van Cleve, and he works his magic along the sideline. Back to the middle of the field, back to the sideline, back to the end zone. 56 yards on the score, 21-0 Ads.
Back to Danville.
And Ads blank Frankfurt 47-0.
Back to wrap it up on the Scholastic Ball Report. By the way, we already have commitments next week from West Jessamine and Sayre School. So those guys will all be on the show. And how about Lafayette, huh?
Still rolling.
I got them to see their banquet last week, their senior banquet. 28 seniors on that team, Mr.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
And basketball's cranking up.
Yeah, it is. We're conditioning, running a lot.
Ready
for the season.
I remember those days. Hey, run that hill, okay.
Henry Clay beat my Bryan Station team the other day. You should be coming here smiling like that so much.
That's right, Mr. Aiken, Mr. Baseball player. You play first base, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Big, nice.
That's why I give him some slack.
I know,
baseball.
As always, on the Scholastic Ball Report, for those you see and those you don't see,
keep your eye on the Scholastic Ball Report.
The Scholastic Ball Report was sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and brought to you by Central Bank, Crown Trophy, Farmers Bank and Capital Trust, Kentucky Utilities, Panel Swim Shop, P-Rats, PrepSpin.com, Rafferty's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.